Hi, I'm Anthony Wilson, and I made this model right here, which is called Harley Angel of the Oceans. If there are any Bionicle fans in the audience at all, they might recognize the general look of this model because it is actually a revamp of an old Bionicle set that came out in 2007. So pretty much 10 years ago this set was released. And if you look at the original one, it's got some very similar features. It has the wings coming out the back. It's got the same sort of color scheme. And it's got this launcher as well. But here I decided to make the model look a bit more angelic. Like, I don't know how to describe it properly, but the wings, I didn't like completely accurately model them based on like a bird's wings, but they're close-ish enough. Like, I don't know if you'd be able to get the camera around the back. You probably can't, but basically I have these. The main section of the wing is just this long axle or lift arm or whatever that goes up, and then you have the like blade pieces or feather pieces kind of coming off that, and I kind of layer it like that, and that creates this wing effect. And then I have the hair coming out the back. I used some dinosaur tails for that, and also a few, I think these pieces that came out in Chima, like 2014 or something, these plant pieces, these fern-like pieces that kind of go up and spiral around. I used those to kind of attach some pieces to the hair as well. And this model is actually I said it's a revamp of an old set, but it's actually a revamp of an old set. Like 2.5 years ago, I made the original one, and it wasn't very good at all. Even though some people seem to like it, looking back at it, it just looks awful to me. But I feel like it got a lot closer to what I was imagining of this one. The wings are just way cleaner. On the original, I just kind of bulked parts onto it and didn't really think about what I was doing. Texturing was way off on that, but I feel like the texturing here, I did a lot better. I did a much better job. So the model is attached from the back, like the spine. Like there's this lift arm that goes down the model's spine that I just attach onto the back. And I have these gears here because if the model isn't balanced properly, it might fall over. So I basically have these gears to adjust the tilt in pitch or pitch and yaw, I guess, just so I can get the model balanced properly. So if I can I'm not going to do it now, but I can turn these gears to push the model forward that way, or tilt it from side to side, kind of rotate it on that axis, just to get the balance right and get the pose correct. And something interesting about putting it on the stand is that if I want it in this pose where it's kind of angled, at a slight angle, angled, I don't really know what you call it. It's not 45 degrees or anything, but basically to be able to get the torso articulation, to be able to get it to hold up in the torso, I had to have these two friction pistons in there, because normally on a Bionicle mock, a Bionicle creation, when you have torso articulation, you don't need to worry that much about how much friction is in there, because all the weight is just kind of pointing down, and there's not much that makes it want to fall over or anything. But on this, you basically need friction to be able to hold up this heavy pendulum, essentially. And to be able to do that, I had to have a ton of friction in the torso to be able to hold up the legs. And it was kind of a hard thing to do, just because the torso on this it's not that wide. So to be able to pack in the pistons and be able to pack everything else in, it's kind of a challenge. I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah, I think you achieved it well, though. I think the build turned out really great. So when you're working on a build like this that uses a lot of Bionicle pieces, very different than a lot of system building, what do you find are some of the main challenges there in trying to figure out how to use pieces and connect everything together?
I don't know. It's kind of weird because I don't know. A lot of people here kind of just build exclusively with Bionicle parts, but I don't know. I don't really think that way, I guess. like I'll just use parts whenever I want and whatever parts I use. Like on the thigh or the upper leg, like that's all system. Like it's got these ball joint connectors on each end, but those parts are like exclusively system built. It's like smooth slopes, the curved slopes, kind of around there, and just these ball joint pieces on the end to be able to make that. Just because I wanted to go with a smoother look, and I think with using Bionicle parts, you need to watch out for kind of the texturing that you want to go with, because if you go with a lot of traditional Bionicle parts kind of in the original run of it, you can get a lot of texturing issues. Like there's a model over there that's lime green and like this teal color, and the lower legs that I used, the texturing on that does not fit with the rest of the model at all. And that's something that someone pointed out online, and I think they're absolutely right. I need to change that. But yeah, that's something you need to watch out for in Bionicle mocks. If you're making like this junkyard robot type thing, that kind of messy texturing can really go a long way. It can make the thing really look amazing, but in other instances you don't want that kind of texturing, and this is the kind of instance where I don't want that kind of texturing either. And you can kind of see the difference, I guess. Like the difference between the texturing on the wings, it's very, like on the individual pieces, there are these big pieces you can see on there, but there's all this kind of greebling and detailing on there that you can see for the weapons that they use, because there are all these blades that Bionicle sets used. But you can see there's definitely different texturing to like the Hera factory pieces that's very smooth, kind of connecting like the leg to the torso, and just the system parts that are used on the upper leg. So, yeah.
That's really interesting, kind of hearing about the way you have to approach different pieces there. So I think the build turned out really great, and I appreciate you talking with me about it. Thank you.